British summer. You gotta love it. So, time to spend some time in the garage. New boots on the Thruxton. Brand new today. The Corsa Diablos have gone, and Michelin Road 5s have gone on. And then on the Suzuki we've had an expensive day because we've also got new boots here as well. So we've gone for the T31. We're trying them, so I didn't want to put the Michelins on that as well. That being my commuter, all weathers, whatever. And putting two sets of Michelin Road 5s on would be very expensive. However, while that one was in, I got told for its MOT, which is coming up, I need new front and rear brake pads, and that the pistons in the calipers were sticking and needed a good overhaul. So we're going to get down and dirty with the brake calipers. Let's talk about required tools to do this job on the calipers. Number one, cup of tea. Cheers. Number two, brake pads. Screwdriver. Socket to get them off. Some of them are screws, some are Allen keys, some are sockets, mine are sockets. Got some silicone lubricant. Like a bit of lubricant. That's to lubricate the seals around the pistons. Don't use WD-40, it's not the best for that job. Copper grease spray, because when we've cleaned everything up we're going to spray all the caliper with copper grease on the inside. We're also going to spray the back of the pads, not the front. Of course, brake cleaner. Need to clean everything up while we get it apart. Some brushes. And a bit of Scotch-Brite to help get rid of any corrosion or mess that might be there. Gloves, because it's a dirty job. And cloths. That oil's for later. Right. That's the tools, the bits. Let's crack on with it. So on the Suzuki, these two bolts need to be removed, then we can get the caliper off. That's the bolts out, and then what I do is I just wiggle the caliper a little bit side to side, which just helps open them pads up so you can take the caliper off. So you've got a bit of cable there taking some of the weight. So the next thing is this Allen key here. That will release the pads and let us get at the caliper. Right, I've got the pin out, and that now releases the brake pads inside. I can now get these out. So that's the pads out. There's still I don't know, a millimetre maybe left on there, but that's an advisory on an MOT. You can see how much crud there is on the back of those pads. So now we're going to get to the part of cleaning up the caliper. So you can see in there's lots of rust and mess around those pistons. So what we need to do is get the pistons to protrude out a bit so that we can clean them. We don't want them all the way out, then we'd need new seals and God knows what else. But for now, we're going to stick a spanner in there and gently squeeze the brake just to get them out and not allow the pistons to come all the way out. I'm going to have to tighten this thing up again because it's gone loose. So that's the pistons where I want them so I can get them to clean. Around the bits I've got the Scotch-Brite, which I'll use to get some off. I've got some brake cleaner and some wire brushes, so hopefully we'll get in and get those pistons good and shiny so that they're moving in and out freely. So after a quick wire brush, and that's looking a lot better. There's still corrosion around the end of those pistons, but the parts that go in where the seals go are nice and clean. We'll use the Scotch-Brite now to get the rest of that corrosion off, and then we'll give it a clean. Okay, that's looking a lot nicer in there. Got most of the corrosion off. Can't get it all off, you risk damaging the surface of the cylinders and pistons. Might try and get a bit more of this one off. This one here is a bit grubby with a bit more of that Scotch-Brite. But I've put lots of silicone lubricant on there, just waiting for that to sink in. Then we're going to have a go at pushing those pistons back in, see how easy they move in and out. They've been cleaned up as best I can. Now I've sprayed it all with copper slip grease, and I'm going to push the pistons back in, reassemble the caliper and put it back on the wheel. Right, that was a lot of scrubbing, a lot of cleaning, but we've now got the pistons pushed all the way in, lubricated, copper slip. Now I'm going to apply some copper slip to the back of the pads and fit them, and then refit that caliper, and that hopefully is a caliper that will work properly. We'll test it when we put it back on the bike. So that's the caliper fitted, and if you remember this pin here that goes through the pads and holds them steady, a hint that I forgot to do is loosen it while you've got the caliper fitted and tighten it fully when the caliper's back on. So that's what I'm going to do next. That's that one done. Right, what's really important when you've changed your pads is that you pump your brakes to get those pads back out on there. Otherwise you could ride away, pull your brake, and you've just got a soft lever. I'll show you what I mean. So here's my brake lever, and there's just nothing there, nothing at all. And now it's firming up because it's gripping, and now I've got a nice solid brake lever. Remember to do that whenever you touch your brakes, otherwise you've got no brakes. So that's one caliper done. I'm quite happy with the result. I'm now going to do the other one, but I have to move the bike. But the other one's exactly the same, so there's no point in showing you that. So that was giving a brake caliper a quick service. Hope you found it useful. If you did, give it a like. If you didn't, give it a dislike. My garage setup is poor. I know I don't get the right angles on the camera and I've got to do everything by hand, but I'm doing my best, and as time progresses I can invest more in my kit so I can do better jobs for you. Okay, Up North Biker, brakes sorted, happy riding, keep safe, see you later.